Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a breakdown of Nappa and Dragon Ball FighterZ. So there isn't much knowledge or info about them anywhere. If you did play the open beta, you might have a chance to try them out, but I just want to talk to them a little more in depth of what I saw. This will be considered a prelude to like full guides I'll do when the game comes out. But right now, first up, I just want to talk about his special moves and what is super and general stuff. So first up, let's talk about his armored move. It's quarter circle back and the key blast button. So as you can see here, and let's slow it down a little bit here, this move has multiple guard points. So as long as you're hitting here in the beginning part of the move, there's nothing you can do. You can Dragon Rush him out of it, but you can't hit him out of it. Now this move does have a bit of a property notice. Sometimes when it hits, it's just a hit and the enemy gets to recover quick. But sometimes, I'm not sure if it's a counter hit property or what, but sometimes on hit, it'll basically lead to, you can homing dash in and get a full combo from it. So this is definitely one of the go-to moves when you're getting pressured. You know, Nappa, everyone's fast in this game, but comparatively to some of the other characters, he's a bit slower, and he's definitely a much bigger target. So this is definitely one of his best defensive measures. Now going from that, let's talk about his explosion move. The Giant Storm, I believe it's called. It is quarter circle forward and key blast button. So he creates a giant semi-tracking explosion. So he can do this in the ground or in the air. And with this semi-tracking once again, so it cannot go full screen. It can travel a little bit and go about 75% of the way from the screen, but it can go full screen. And from this, if it connects, you basically have a guaranteed Cybermen plant, as you can plant freely before they have time to recover. And we'll talk more about Cybermen in a second, but that's a pretty big deal, as Cybermen are like the whole reason for Nappa being. And in and of itself, the hitbox is fairly sizable, so you can definitely control the bit of the screen you're on. Just don't use it from full screen because it will not connect and only lead to sadness with that in mind. Now, let's talk about one move. Now, this is the one I have the least experience with, and that's his overhead move. So this is quarter circle forward and any of the 3 attack buttons. So the light punch version does a single overhead move that is standing in place. He does not travel forward. What you're seeing here is the medium version where he'll run forward a little bit and do 2 hits. Now, I could get this one to do combo off vanish combos, but nothing else seems to really get the combo, and I could not really discern what the EX version does. So, as far as I can tell, the main thing to use these for is to catch people sleeping at the wheel. When the game comes out and we have access to training mode, there might be much more varied uses I can find out, but for the moment, it just mostly seems to be catching people sleeping. And now, before I get into Cybermen, I'll just go off the 2 specials, because Cybermen are the main event here. He has his finger explosion move. I'm sorry, I don't recall the name of it offhand. So in and of itself, it's pretty bog standard. I would not label it one of the stronger level ones in the game. It does seem to have some invincibility, not on frame 1, but some minor invincibility. And the frame where he begins the cinematic is the frame where the explosion will happen. So if you see the cinematic, you can be rest assured, unless you're fighting against someone who has a full invincible level 3, it will connect. So, and it has some decent amount of damage. Seems to do a bit more than some other level 1s. I don't have the damage numbers in front of me, but that's just me eyeballing it. And now the level 3, because he only has 2 supers. The level 3, honestly, to be brutally honest, I gotta say is one of the worst level 3s I've seen, if not the worst level 3 I've seen. So, it's a beam super, but only if the initial hit connects. And that range is quite short. It's much shorter than, say, Kid Buu also has a hit-based level 3. He is grounded while he does it. It's prone to whiffing over people who are above your head. I love the animation because, you know, it's just barfing out a giant laser. But other than that, it's pretty bog standard. It is full invincible like all level 3s seem to be. But compared to, like, you know, the Beam Supers, Gokus, like anyone else in the betas, it just easily seems the weakest of all of them. Now, onto the Cybermen, which are the main event. These are basically the reason you pick Nappa. So each plant does slightly different things. The Light Punch plant plants a guy who's more melee focused, and his first attack will be a melee attack and jumping leap attack. Medium Punch will plant a guy whose first attack is a spit attack. Now, I did not really delineate between what the EX guy is. The plant is much faster than the normal plants, but other than that, I could not really get much of a tell on that. But just to talk about some things about Cybermen. So, Cybermen, the explosion, which, you know, Cybermen are famous for, you can get a conversion off that. You can get a whole combo conversion. Right there, you're going to see I dropped it, but you get the idea. There's a lot of... You can basically always get a plant off a setup. So let's say here, example, I'm using a basic Nappa combo. And I did optimize this a bit more as I kept going, but basic Nappa combo, at the end of it, you call the assist and it covers your plant, and you basically have a plant. Now, planting mid-screen is usually not the best, but now say this example here. So we have like the whole match to wait, and he's running away from the Cyberman, but it's behind him now. And eventually, I'm stuck, but the Cyberman comes and saves me from the whole screen away because it was planted behind him and walked up to him. So it's pretty good. There's all sorts of pressure. Cybermen can create all sorts of things, like this setup right here. Good luck blocking this. This is Nappa's overhead, and the second hit always hits low for the Cybermen. Their second attack's always a low. I don't know how you'd even begin to block that. Cybermen can definitely save your rump when you're in trouble. If you're blocking, the little guy can walk behind you and then go from there. It's just, they're so fantastic. They're great. And that's kind of this beginner's breakdown of Nappa. When the game comes out in full, we have training mode. I can learn so much more. Just two more quick notes to say. One thing I'm in love with is his fierce buttons. So stand fierce, as you probably saw throughout the match videos here. Absurd range, to be sure. When it comes to just basic range and speed, like, it's got to be it was at least best in class in the beta. Like, I know Freeze's was a projectile, but it was much lower startup, and it just, you know, you got a full combo off of it. It just seemed very absurd. Like, it was basically his best button. And jumping fierce, his AJ Styles Pele kick, the hitbox on that is absurd. It's so easy to cross up with it. It just stuffs everything below it. Nappa, in like Street Fighter terms, would definitely be like a buttons character, you know, like a Birdie or Chun-Li or something, at least in my opinion. You know, it can change as the game comes out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with Nappa. Definitely the main event is the Cybermen. Without the Cybermen, you know, Nappa's got good buttons, but he hasn't got much else. The Cybermen are where, you know, it's all written. You can have 2 plants up at a time, so you can plant 2 Cybermen, and when the first one dies, the second one will come out, and anything kills them. It doesn't matter. Like, even a homing dash, it'll just brush them aside. So you do got to protect them a bit, if, you know, even if worst case scenario, protect them with your own body, because they will help you out. They will save you. But anyways, that is my Nappa breakdown. I'm so looking forward to January the 26th. Expect, you know, guides, content, all the same things I always do for all sorts of characters. Any suggestions you have for any features you'd like to see, please, you know, feel free to ask in the comments. I always try to do my best to help out commenters if I can. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.